the Vanguard newspaper to look at the stories that have made it to the front page of the Vanguard, but we'll take a look at the Guardian first before we come to the Vanguard newspaper. So the Guardian newspaper is taking lead now on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And we have, will 1.9 million electorate win? That's a big question. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, will 1.9 million electorate win? We have the picture of the candidates now contending for the office of governorship in Osun State. Ademola Adeleke of the Accord Party, Oyebamiji of APC, and that of the ADC as well on the front page, alongside INEC chairman Amupiton on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And the other stories that can be found on the front page of the Guardian as well this morning also reads, Coalition seeks closure of terrorist reintegration program. Coalition seeks closure of terrorist reintegration program. And that's one story that might interest you. You can let us know your thoughts and we'll be sure to take them as well. Others, refineries will work again, make profit. Tinubu pledges amid failed $2.9 billion rehabilitation. ICPC recovers 24 billion naira from ghost workers, over 900 accounts forfeited. 2027, Makinde picks SSS, XDG, Dara as running mate, Advocate Party Alliance. Those are the stories you'd find on the front page. Military launches offensive against Lakurawa, orders in Northwest. NHRC, Action Aid raised concerns over hate speech disputes ahead of the 2027 polls. SEC orders freeze of asset linked to 9 terrorist financiers. Presidential group extends deadline for contribution to national policing bill. And on the report side, unemployment, limited opportunity, pushing 37% of Nigerian youth abroad. These are the stories you find on the front page of the Guardian newspaper.
All right, the New Telegraph is up next, where we have the following headlines. Osun power tussle peaks tomorrow as 1.9 million voters elect new governor. Adeleke, Oyebamiji, others battle for control of government house amid realignments. Tinubu assures voters of adequate security. Election crucial test for INEC ahead of 2027. That's gospel according to Yaga Africa, one of the CSOs who are very much involved with elections and election coverage in Nigeria. Adeleke protests alleged presence of Ebonyi resident electoral commissioner in Oshogbo. All right. Rising tension targeted at suppressing voter turnout. Rising tension targeted at suppressing voter turnout. This is coming from Alimi. There's details of, what's about to play out in Osun on pages 3, 4, 5, and 28 of the New Telegraph. And of course, I have a picture of the governor and candidate of the Accord, Ademola Adeleke, Oyebamiji, of the APC, and of course Nafim Salam of the African Democratic Congress, who happen to be the front-line candidates ahead of the elections tomorrow. Catholic priests oppose federal government's ranching plan for Benue, say ancestral homes not bargaining chips. All right, we also have 1985 coup. I found it difficult to believe, but I had no choice. This coming from IBB, says law had to take its course on VATSA, insists civilians have hands in coups. Well, how possible is that? Fresh diplomatic face-off looms as South Africa demands $18.5 million for deporting Nigerians and others. We're yet to receive any such request. That's the response from the federal government. All right. And we also have seafood export. Nigeria and Chinese pact unlocks 1.4 billion naira consumer market. Bilateral trade hits 18 billion naira. I also have a couple of other headlines. Anti-corruption agencies won't succeed working in isolation. Is coming from the ICPC, says evidence, law, public interest guide commissions processes, fiscal transparency have been vindicated by U.S. report, says Atiku. Well, it appears to be one of the reports we're also going to be taking a look at much later on the program this morning. State Police Presidential Panel extends deadline for memoranda. Frame Famadewa. No duplicity in Homeland Security Agency creation. Well, is that something that is embedded in the plans to enact the state police? Find out on the New Telegraph. We also have a couple of other headlines, but I believe that's the much you can take on the New Telegraph this morning.
The front page of the Vanguard newspaper, the main story reads, factors that would decide Adeleke, Oyebamiji, Salam, others' fate. Tinubu assures indigents of adequate security. 15 candidates battle for 1.9 million votes. We'll use Fadausi as example now. Amnesty vows. People who make inciting statements should be arrested. Ex-CDS Irabo says, APC's campaign DG killed 2 days to election. Attack happened on Wednesday, police say. 15,000 policemen, 31 CPs, helicopters, drones deployed. Security agencies embark on show of force. Those are the writers to this story as Osun decides tomorrow. Factors that will decide Adeleke, Oyebamiji, Salam, others' fate. The main picture on the front page of the Vanguard. Policemen on Osun election duties. You can see the police officers on the grass, laying down and, waiting for action, keeping their eyes wide open to monitor the situations happening in Osun State. 2027, attacks bigger than winning, Makinde says. Picks ex-DSS DG Dare as running mate. Drug war, Ogun Customs hands over 16.7 billion naira cannabis to NDLEA. Nigeria refineries will soon bounce back. The president, Tinubu, says we'll soon publish how subsidy saving is being utilized. We're still waiting for that publication. 2027 polls heed our warnings on hate speech. HHRC tells the federal government. State Police Presidential Working Group extends deadline for memoranda. Xenophobia, no request received yet from South Africa on repatriation cost. Federal government says recapitalization. NIA backs NICOM as 7 more insurance firms clear hurdles. The men's also story on the front page, top of the Vanguard masthead reads, feeding crisis rocks prisons. You want to find out more on these stories? It's on the Vanguard newspaper, and of course grab a copy to read more, but most importantly let us know your thoughts right here on the newspaper review on the morning edition.